Yo, what is going on, guys? It's Julian and Jonathan here today with another episode of the Obey Podcast. Today we have our Rainbow Six team who just moved. We have Benji, MahMan, Adam, and Skies. So I guess we'll kick it right off and asking how was the trip moving down here as you guys are all living here?
You want to start off?
Not really.
I guess I'll start.
For Skies, it was just
It's just simple.
drive.
It's
for
an
you
hour
guys,
drive.
A little bit more.
I came from Virginia, and it was like a 21-hour drive. We had to stop at Memphis overnight, and it was a very not fun drive.
Yeah, I actually did a 21-hour drive, too, when I moved down here to Texas from Virginia. I think your parents actually know where I drove from, and it was terrible. Like, I stayed at this super shady hotel, like, at 4 in the morning. I swear it just felt disgusting. And you just sit there, and I don't even have my license yet, so I was just forced to sit there in the driver's seat and just stare at the sky. But, yeah, what about you? I know you just drove down yesterday.
Yeah, I just got here. I drove from Cali, and I drove 16 hours the first day. That killed me. And I found a hotel finally after like 50 miles of searching, and I drove another like 6-7 hours.
So it's like overall like a 23-hour drive?
Around there, yeah.
Ouch.
That's crazy.
Okay.
Adam, you're not here yet.
That's
Well,
unlucky for you guys. Like an
Yeah,
hour
I mean,
drive.
I haven't moved yet, but, listening to these guys, I'm kind of dreading it, I live in Columbus, Ohio, and, like, I'm just trying to figure out how to get all my stuff down here, But I'll keep you guys updated.
Mine's simple. I just drove an hour.
Yeah, lucky you, dude.
Just put my stuff in and go.
I mean, John just took a flight when he moved here.
Yeah, it wasn't. I kind of left all my belongings in Florida and kind of started fresh when I came here, so it was really nothing. Just came here with a backpack, and that's it.
Sick.
Yeah. So I guess an important question to ask is, since you guys are moving here, how do you think a team environment like this is going to affect your level of play and help you guys improve? I think it's a serious topic because in Rainbow Six, not many teams do live by each other, play in the same area. Do you think that gives you guys some type of advantage, and kind of just elaborate on that?
I could take it, yeah. So, especially like, a lot of teams, when they qualify for an event or something, they'll like get together in like boot camp, and like if we all live together, it just makes it so much easier. We're just always building team chemistry, always being around each other, like even outside the game, like we're all friends and everything. So, it's cool to it's just cool to be around all your teammates,
Yeah. Anybody else?
Yeah, I agree. And it'll help a lot with like strats and stuff. We can just go over it right away. We don't have to wait on somebody. We don't know what, we know what everyone's doing since we're like right next to each other.
Yeah.
And we can wake you up too when you oversleep.
Yeah.
Everyone's like more focused. You have to be involved because you're around everybody. You can't just be sitting there just dozing off. Someone's gonna catch it. You have to pay attention. It's just like kind of forced and natural.
It's like almost like you're in a 24/7 boot camp, really. Yeah. I guess obviously boot camp's a little bit more intensive. You're trying to get those days, packed up. You're trying to get leading into the event, but you guys are able to just practice continuously together. And so I feel like when you guys go into an event, it's going to be very seamless. Like we already know how it feels to play next to each other. So I think that's what I'm super excited about going
really
forward
good,
with you
yeah.
guys.
It's good for Benji especially just because like he's never been to a LAN, so it's like it helps him a lot.
I guess leading on to that, how does that feel? Like your first LAN is the first ever Rainbow Six major. Like, are you nervous? Because in working with teams in the past, and Jonathan and I always talk to our players about this, like, how does it feel to be in that environment where you look out and you see tons of people? And I guess, have you really thought about that?
No, not at all. I'm focused on like trying to make sure that I perform well, so that way we can do our best.
Yeah. Do you think it would affect you at all, or it's just like it's good?
I've noticed that like streaming, as long as if the camera's on, like it doesn't bother me because I'm playing. But if it's just me and the camera like talking, it can bother me sometimes.
Yeah, it's kind of funny because I've had the chance to sit behind some of the LAN setups on stage, and it's like, for the most part, your peripheral, you don't even notice the people behind it. So
I like it. I don't know. I use it as like hype. I don't know. I just take it, and I like having an audience. Like at the Paris Major, the group stages doesn't have an audience, which is kind of, I don't like it like that. If I had an audience, I just feel like I'd play even better. To be honest,
I remember at DreamHack when I forget what map it was on against Chaos. I think it was at
Coastline,
the
maybe? I
end.
think it was
Yeah.
Coastline.
And something happened. You just got up and screamed, and we actually have footage of that. It's like one of my favorite moments from that event. But just to continue talking on this topic, I guess we'll start with how did it feel to qualify for Paris? That whole process. I know you guys like had a ton of games and such a small span. I know a lot of people want to know how was that for you guys. Obviously, it took a lot of mental endurance. I mean, I just guess speak on that whole process from the first to the last match of that weekend.
I drank a lot of Red Bull.
I don't know. I said it since day one, since we joined this team, that we were gonna make Paris, and they can all like vouch for me. I said that we're gonna make Paris, like no matter what. There's like, we didn't like put this team together to be mediocre. We're not playing like we should right now, but we proved our potential in the Paris major qualifiers. Like, I also think part of it's just the format. It's not really an excuse, but best of 3 just proves more than best of 1. And, going into the event, it's all best of 3. So I think we have a really good chance of beating everybody there.
Yeah. So just to speak, I guess, a little bit more on that, like going into that morning when you guys had to wake up, was it on Sunday that you guys were playing those final
I don't remember.
qualifiers?
We
It was the day
we
after
played
July
like
4th.
a
Yeah.
game at 6:30 in the morning one
Yeah,
day.
you guys played Bittersweet at 6:30 a.m. You woke up, I think you played Space Station at 12, and then
it
you.
was it was
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
Space Station first.
It was like 2 p.m. or 3 p.m. or something. Yeah.
How did that feel? Like just having to get basically no sleep into what was then 3 more matches. You guys played Space Station, then SK, then Mouse, and Mouse was the best of 5, but you did 3 of them. So
Felt good because we beat it basically every single pro team.
yeah.
Except for EG and Rogue, but I don't know. It was just good because SK, like, they slapped us early on in the bracket. They like 12-1'd us or something round count, and we just came back and did the same thing to them. So it felt good to get revenge on those guys.
Yeah. So, just continuing on, I guess, how do you guys feel about Paris? I think this is a question that we got on Twitter. It's like, how do you guys feel about your group? How do you feel about the overall event? And obviously going against Nora Rango, your first.
I was actually going to ask, have any of you guys been to Paris before?
Never.
No.
How does it-
I've been in the airport. That's it.
How does it feel? Like, have you guys, like, told your parents, like, hey, Mom, I'm going to Paris? Like, what is the reaction from that?
Not good.
Really?
Yeah.
My mom would freak out. She'd be like, what?
No.
Take me with you.
My mom, she's very like overprotective, and I told her like, Mom, I'm gonna be gone for a month, and she literally started crying.
I mean, I could understand that. I could see that.
Yeah.
In a different country on the other side of the world. Yeah. My mom would probably be, like, a little bit like that, but I don't know. I think it's just pretty cool. You guys get to go to Paris on the other side of the world. All bros. You guys are competing and stuff like that. It's a crazy journey.
Yeah, it's awesome.
It's crazy.
Both of my parents are actually going.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they booked flights and everything already. They're going to watch.
That's awesome.
Real ones.
Yeah.
Real ones.
But you better not play like bad in front of your parents.
Yeah,
bro.
yeah, I better
Dad will
not.
beat your ass, bro.
Jesus.
But yeah, I guess to continue off.
Your
before that
parents are
question.
going to hate me. I'm going to talk a lot of shit.
To get off that question, I guess, like I said, how do you guys feel about the whole event, your group, your first match?
So pretty confident.
Yep.
Our first opponent is Norangu, and it was Liquid and
Vitality.
Yeah, those are strong opponents. So after that, we'll have to prep for them.
Yeah. No, like even though Nora Rengo's like an APAC team, they're like by no means bad. Like they had a good showing against Rogue. They recently like made a roster change, and it just they look even stronger, So we like going again, we cannot underestimate anybody, even if they are from APAC, like the underdog of all the regions, I guess.
Yeah, I remember from the Invitational, I specifically remember someone from there, his name's Waka. He just frags out super hard on IQ.
Yeah, Waka is nasty.
That guy is nasty.
Yeah.
Picked up
He's so good.
Shin, too, who is, like, the best player on Irons, and he's just, like, a heavy fragger, too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess let's move away from all the pro talk and I guess give the people some ability to get to know you guys. Did you guys ever think you guys would be pro players? I mean, it's such a weird thing. I guess like when you picked up a video game, like did you ever foresee yourself playing at a professional level?
No.
Yeah.
How I got into this, I was playing Rainbow and I took a 3-month break. And when my friends when I came back to play, one of my friends asked me if I wanted to join his team. So I said, why not, just to do it for fun. And I just slowly just worked my way up and suddenly I'm in Pro League.
Mm-hmm.
Just happened out of nowhere.
Actually, like before I joined Pro League, like a million people asked me to join their team, but like the Rainbow wasn't as big back then, so like
Right.
I didn't really like see a reason to, but like my friend, they were like in dire need of like a last player, and since he's like my friend, I really can't turn him down. And back then that was actually like my first and best like statistically best season of Pro League. It was like my first season, and we made LAN, we went to Poland, it was it was pretty cool. And after that, things just started going uphill.
No, I didn't really plan to play games professionally. I out of high school I wanted to go to the military, but it's a long story that I want to get into. So, but here I am now, and it's awesome. Wasn't expected.
Yeah.
I was underage when I started competing in Siege. So I started just before I turned 18. Just before I turned 18, I decided that this was going to be something I tried to do. And just after I turned 18, Sam and Bosco and them contacted me and asked me to come play and try out, and now we're here. So
I will say though, I will make a point, all like the lost hours of sleep and everything, going up, going through school and stuff, it was only natural something like this happened. I put so much time to video games.
Yeah. I think that's how I think a lot of people felt.
Yeah.
It's like, I think we talked about this in the last podcast. It's just so many hours. Something has to happen from it. You know what I mean? It's almost to the point where you put so much effort into something. If something there's not even a chance that nothing comes from it. I mean, I play a lot of Rainbow Six Siege. You guys know that, but I can not imagine how much Siege you guys had to play to get at your level. I guess to speak on that, does it ever get exhausting playing as much Siege? How do you continue to stay level-headed in your positions? Because a lot of people, I think that's what prevents them from getting to that next level in their competitive careers. It's they either tilt or they just don't have that mental fortitude to just continuously seek to be better as a competitor in a game like that.
You can definitely become burned out from the game. It's really fast. Just 2 or 3 days of just straight playing 8 hours a day. You are mentally exhausted. You need a break and everything. So a lot of people, they're just you'll always see people that are willing to grind those grind that out, or usually the people that are more inclined to success. People that aren't as dedicated. They're more willing to just give up. That's not something you'll see from anybody in a top level team.
I mean, after playing all the Paris quals, OGA, nationals, we were kind of a little burnt out too. So we took the break time as my drive here, everyone moving in.
Yeah.
Took a break like that and recovered like that.
Guys, I know you can get a little heated sometimes. How do you stay up?
I don't know. I'd say after the Paris quals, I just completely burnt out. I was so tired of playing, not competitively, just in general, just needed a break. So I think that if you're burnt out, it can definitely affect your performance and stuff. I played really, really bad against SK in our Pro League game. Probably one of the worst Pro League games I've had. And it's just honestly, I was just so burnt out. They were playing so good. It was just mentally exhausting. So the last 3 days we haven't played, we took a break, and it just felt really good. Now I'm enjoying the game even more.
Yeah.
You just have to take days off.
Yeah. Who's the longest competitor out of all of you? Who's been doing this
me.
longest? Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. You started off on console, right? When
Yeah.
was that exactly?
The game. I've been playing the game since the beta, but the Xbox Pro League got cut January of 2017. Bosco's from Xbox as well. We won a world championship on there, and then we switched to PC, made LAN our first season.
That's awesome. Yeah, I think player burnout is a huge thing. I think that's why we're so excited to have the Innovative Performance Institute with you guys, because that's something that they want to help our players deal with, is burnout. Because if you look at esports, the average career is 3-5 years max, and players just done. And that's just really not how it should be at a top level. So I think it's a really interesting thing to hear from you guys, how you stay level-headed, because even myself, in a game like Rainbow Six, what I've noticed is if you don't have confidence in your shot, you lose everything. And that's me noticing I'm garbage at the game. Let's speak right now.
You're really not that bad.
I'm not that
You're
bad.
really not that bad.
I'm really not
You're
that
not that
bad,
bad.
but at the level that they play at, I'm not good. So like to speak to that, it's just like for a game that relies so much on shot confidence to just keep that mental fortitude, I think it's super important.
You know,
Just play blitz.
I had a question that I would always ask, like probably like any pro player of ours. If you weren't a pro in Rainbow Six, what game would you want to be a pro in?
CS:GO, no doubt. I think CS:GO has the highest skill gap out of any game, just like FPS wise, at least.
CS:GO?
Yeah.
It would definitely be an FPS.
Okay.
Probably CS:GO. Probably not Overwatch, but it's like I really can't say for sure. But before I got into Rainbow Six, like going through high school, I played so much CS. Like I probably put more time into CS than like homework and stuff.
We played some CS
Yeah,
for some time.
I
too.
had my wave of like CS:GO, like just nonstop every single day, every night, every morning. Like I had that wave.
I always
We
told
did.
Alex the only time I could actually play CS:GO is if I had a knife. Like if I didn't have a
Yep.
knife, I had no confidence.
Yep. Dude, the knife just gives you powers, man. It just makes you play better.
What would your game be?
Me, I would have probably been in a MOBA.
Really?
Yeah, I played a lot of MOBA like before Rainbow.
Which one?
It was like a Dota copy called Han,
Oh,
and
yeah.
I was like really good at it. I was in like the top levels, but then I started playing Siege, and I never looked back.
Probably World of Warcraft for me.
Really?
Yeah.
You were
that's
that
what I
high
played.
rated on there?
No, I wasn't high rated. I was trash. But
Oh, really?
You
if
just
I had
like-
to
you
pick
like
a
the
different
game like that,
to be
yeah.
good at, it'd be that one.
I think that's what's cool about Rainbow Six though is like I love MOBAs too. Like I play League. I used to play League because the game is just in a terrible state right now. But I think with Rainbow Six, it kind of has that strategy aspect to it where it's not just like CS:GO where it's just basic FPS. 2 bombs, plant, that's it. You have the same guns basically. Everybody's playing on a level playing field. You know what that person's going to be doing. With Siege, it's like a totally different aspect of FPS, where strategy, like different operator picks influence the map completely differently. And like you could literally win a game based off your ability to strategize in your play.
That's like 90% of the game. You know,
Yeah.
it's even though it is an FPS, a majority of it is not really shooting. It's just mostly like communicating, gathering information, and just like reacting to it. So I think that's what sets Rainbow Six apart from other games.
Yeah.
If you could be a pro, what would you want to be a pro in?
Rainbow Six.
For sure?
100%.
Really?
Alex is laughing because he's like, how do you enjoy the game so much? But personally, like I can not stop playing that game. Like I said, I'm just obsessed with the ability to like, not only can I outplay somebody by gun skill, but I could also outplay them intellectually. I think that's super cool in FPS.
Do you think you could do like the whole LAN and like being
I
in
don't
front of
know.
everybody? Like that's huge.
Yeah, that's
like what you guys do,
different.
it's
Yeah,
a lot. Like
I guess that's like looking at a different perspective. I don't know. I mean, even when we have our teams, like when we were watching guys at DreamHack, and then when we've been at the Smite World Championship, like I'm on the verge of a panic attack while watching my players. It's
that's what I
terrible.
was asking. So I was like,
while
Smite.
watching, like it means so much to me, like that we win. It's like I'm nervous, so I could only imagine like the pressures that go into being on that level. Do I know if I'll be able to do it? I guess not, because I'm not in that mindset yet. But I mean, there's been plenty of owners that's gone pro. I mean, I'm just saying, you might see me in the pro league soon.
You can do
Bro,
it.
I feel bad. Like we have so many like comeback wins where we're down. It's
Dude,
just, like
That's the worst, bro.
Yeah,
Like that's all, dude. Watching that is awful. Like it's like you're biting your nails. You're like, come on, boys, come on, boys, come on, boys, and you're like, no, and like you kind of like look down, and then before you know, it's like, wait, what? Like wait, we're coming back, and it's
Like-
just like.
that's just how we play. Like it feels so good for us, but it must feel like so terrible for you guys.
Rainbow Six Siege is a game of seconds, man. That's what I've learned. Like Smite, it's a lot more leveled out, where our team will play in like around the 15 to 20 minute mark. That's when you expect to see generally where the direction of the game is gonna go. But with Rainbow Six, like every round I watch you guys, it's like 30 seconds left, 5 up on their team. What's gonna happen? And it's just so nailed. Like in those moments, you guys are so used to it. I'm sure that's like just execute, right? But for me, like even when I play Siege, when it gets that low, my heart's pumping. Like
Yeah. Like, especially like, like during those moments, like you're just like if like normally I just sit in the side. I'm just like, bro, I hope Skies just kills 3 people this round, bro. I'm just like praying to God, bro. But like, like you really don't know what to expect.
I don't know. The way I see it is if even if it's like a 5v5, 20 seconds left or whatever, if you have like really good sight players still alive, like there's like a 90% chance you're gonna win the round. I think people like really sleep on like the support players of the team. Like there's fraggers that like shine the most because like that's their duty is to kill people, but they're not gonna do all that without their support players.
Yeah, I think that's similar to almost every game, right? I mean, you have Overwatch support, DPS, the DPS players. Same thing with the league. Some of the best supports in the world that literally are the reason for their teams winning. Basically little to no exposure off that. And then you have like people who, well, Faker is just a god at that game. But you have people like him and Double Lift who are in more like positions to entertain as an ADC or a damage doer, entry fragger, whatever you want to call it. So I think that's common in esports. And a lot of people do understand the level of like importance a support player plays in a lot of these competitive games. But
listen, I can go 0-10 and people can like shit on me all they want. As long as we win, that's all that I care about.
Doesn't matter if we win. As long as we win.
Yeah.
It really doesn't matter.
People don't realize that, like, especially on Siege, stats don't mean shit.
Yeah.
They literally have no meaning. Like, I could drop 15 kills and lose, and it doesn't mean anything.
yeah,
Like, I can drop 15 kills and win, but I'm not going to get those 15 kills with everybody else on the team.
yeah.
You know, Sam baits me, so that's how he gets his kills. But, you know, going from there, it's like it's a team game.
Yeah, like it's our job, you know, to like make sure these guys like get all the kills, you know, and like I guess like our performance is like reflected through them, you know. So like, you know, like I try not to stress about that because, you know, like I used to be an entry fragger and, you know, like playing like support's like kind of a new role for me, and, you know, I'm still learning and everything, but like, you know, I know how it's like. I know like everyone on this team has a job and their job is not easy, you know. Every job, every person has their, you know, their hardships and everything. So, you know, I understand that. So I've been there.
How do you guys feel about the state of Rainbow Six right now? I guess we'll move into two different aspects. How do you feel about the state of the game right now?
I'll go last.
Oh, okay. I was gonna
And
say
then,
like you probably shouldn't say anything.
I'll go last.
Let's keep it constructive.
I'll keep it constructive. I'll go last.
And then how do you feel about the state of the game in esports, like in a totality? So let's start with the game.
You know, with the game, I really do believe they care about the game, like Ubisoft. They care about the game, love the game, you know. But some of the changes they make are pretty questionable. You know, I say this like I wish they would like consult with like some kind of like professional before they make a change, you know, because like some of like their operators or some of the changes they make just don't make sense for competitive play, you know. With that being said, there is a bigger crowd outside the pro league though, and I see why they do what they do, but I just, you know, I'm kind of biased because, you know, obviously we're in the pro league and we want the game how, you know, a certain way, and other people want it a different way. But, you know, sometimes they don't appeal to the right. Well, I shouldn't say that. They appeal to a different audience than, you know, just the pro players, which can sometimes result in questionable changes.
Yeah, that IQ nerf hurt me.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That was a
hurt me
big
on
nerf
my
for
Thursday.
me.
heart, dude.
I loved IQ. Ben, Sam, you go ahead. I'll go
I mean,
last.
For the esports aspect, I mean, it's looking great because it's grew a lot like in 1 year, right? Like double the viewer, triple the viewer. Yeah. I mean, it's a good spectator sport, so I can see why it's growing right now. Yeah, feels good.
A lot of big works coming too.
For state of the game, I would say I think they've gone a little overboard on the traps. Like, as somebody who used to entry, I don't like walking into a room and getting concussed by an Elamine and a goo stuck in my foot and then shot by 3 people.
That's actually funny because I was playing Border the other day, and you know that on lockers, that place where you board up you reinforce those 2 walls, there's a little door entry that's automatically enforced. I walked through there and I got hit by literally 3 goo mines right as I walked into the door. It went from 100 health to 60 health, and it's just so many traps. I mean, I'm still learning the game. For you guys, it's like if you see a Capcan on the other team, you know you have to check walls. But there's times where like I totally space out and I'm like, hit one wall, boom, hit another one, boom, dead.
That's
and
why
it's just like,
yeah, that's why Skies lets us go in before him. He wants us to hit all the
Wants to bait
traps.
us. Loves baiting us.
Yeah, love baiting. My turn, I guess. Stay of the game. I think there's a lot of issues that have yet to be addressed. There's things that, not even just pros have complained about for over a year that are still within the game that they don't want to acknowledge or fix yet until they're ready. I think the game could be bigger than CS, but it just really depends how long the devs take to actually do it, fix the things that are still here. Like there's still hit registration issues, server issues, stuff like that. But say the game, esports wise, has grown crazy over the past year and a half. I don't agree with a lot of the changes that they make at all. I think that they need to stop balancing off of data, and they need to start balancing off common sense and what pros feedback is. They ask us for feedback and our thoughts on things, but it just seems like they don't actually use anything that we say. And I'm not just saying that because I get pissed off by things within the game. It's just I've been playing the game for 2 years. I've known most of these devs since the beginning of the game, and it's just it seems like they ask us for our opinion on things, but they don't actually use any of it.
I agree with that.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I actually feel like with Rainbow Six Siege, more than anything, is a game that is heavily influenced in a competitive aspect, whereas it doesn't really tend to a casual player, at all. So whereas with Smite, with games like MOBAs, like League of Legends, they have to balance around a casual audience that doesn't take the game as seriously. Whereas I feel in Rainbow Six, it's very intensely competitive. I feel almost in all levels.
You're saying that you think they don't balance for the casual player? They think you do it for the competitive player?
No, I'm saying if they are balancing for a casual player, I think that it should be they should start listening to the pro player.
Exactly.
Because at the end of the day, I feel like Rainbow Six is one of those games where it's so intensely competitive in every level that if anything, a pro level player knows how to help give insight into the highest level of competitive.
One of the things I've been saying for the last years, I feel like Rainbow's kind of fell off from its roots of the game. It went from strategizing and outplaying and winning your gunfights to these crutch type operators where you can literally just sit outside. Lion, for example, you literally press one button, he does his gadget. You have Dokkaebi, you press a button, does her gadget. And then you have trap operators like Ella where you can't even turn because you makes your screen drunk basically. You can't even turn your mouse because it affects your sensitivity. And I just feel like things like that lowers the skill gap within the game. But the devs are going to decide what they want to do, and we just have to accept that.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's really not much we can do, but I think just there'd be just a higher skill gap. If I know that Rainbow Six is hard to get into because there's a lot of stuff to learn. You got to learn all the reinforcements and what to look out for and
I agree.
Stuff like that.
I tried it one day. Wasn't for me.
Yeah, and I feel that it used to be way easier to get back in before they added all this shit. But I can see they just want to sell games. And I understand that. They gotta think about us too.
One thing I want to add for the esports side is I feel like the viewership would be even better if their marketing was a little better. The marketing for games is not very good. They don't have a esports tab on the game at all. They have a little side a window on the bottom that just swipes through things, not an actual esports tab like Overwatch, for example. As soon as you log into Overwatch or CS:GO, immediate pop-up, this game's live, or this is on tonight, blah 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 blah. Where Siege is just you have a sliding little advertisement that not anyone really looks at.
Yeah. You know what I really loved about the last final, and I think they should do in a way that's probably not as intense or big, but incentivizing viewership through drops. I think Rainbow Six is a great game to do that. They did that in the last final, and they got great viewership. And I think if they were to do that on a pro league level, make a pro league set, or even just give out the pro league charms that you get from buying in game just as drops, incentivizing that viewership and pushing it through the Rainbow Six, because they already promote your guys' matches in the game. But if they were to promote the matches in a way that they said, hey, this match is going to be on, but if you watch it, you have the chance to win this charm or this special pro league charm, skin, things like that, I think that would be great for Rainbow Six.
That would actually be awesome.
Yeah, it'd be cool to give away the pro league sets, uniforms or something for that season. That'd be cool.
Yeah, I'm waiting for that Zofia Pro League set. I think that's the next one coming out. I guess, is there any questions that you guys have for me and Jonathan, or?
I got one for you. What is it about like Rainbow that like makes you love it so much? Because I've been with different orgs and like with the owners, and it's kind of obvious that some don't really care specifically about Siege, but they're just in it for to have a team. Yeah. What is it about you like that makes you so passionate about it?
I'm someone that Jonathan knows this, and we actually go through the same process when I talk to him about teams, and I'm like, I try to, when I find a game that I think Obey should be in, I start to play it. That's my first instinct, because if I can't directly understand it, it hurts my ability to scout. It hurts my ability to actually make connections with the players I speak to. And Rainbow Six, I love FPS games. Me and Jonathan come from FPS, so it automatically caught my attention. But like I said earlier, just the fact that it's it almost feels like a strategy type FPS where like there's multiple outplays, and I understand for you guys feel like there obviously needs to be a higher skill gap, but for me, I feel like there is a high skill gap. It might not be as high as you would like it, but when I first got into Rainbow Siege, I got smacked for months, like by better players. Like I still get smacked. If a diamond player comes into my gold 1 level game, I'm getting destroyed. You know what I mean? And it's just, for me, that's what entices me. I'm very competitive, and Rainbow Six is extremely competitive. And I'm one of those people who's like, when I pick up a game, I need to be good at it. So that's why you see me just grinding Rainbow Six, because I'm not going to stop playing that game until I get diamond. That's what's going to happen. And then I'll stop playing. But no, man, it's just like the viewership is really great. I've seen that. I've always seen Rainbow Six. It's always been on the radar. But when I was asked like what game you want to be in, that was one of the first games that came to mind. I love the game. I think it's great. I think it's great for esports. I think it's great to watch, and it's great to play. For me, that hits all 3 marks. And for Obey, it's on brand. Obey is a very it comes from FPS. It's very edgy. It's very young. Rainbow Six is very straightforward, very young, edgy game that people love playing. It's an FPS. So for me, it's like automatic click. And we're very passionate people in general. So if we decide to invest into something, it's because we're passionate about it. That's really how Obey has followed that agenda, I think.
I think that fits perfectly for an Obey skin and charm in the game, I think.
Yeah. Ubisoft.
Ubi?
I was just going to say that, I forgot what I was going to say, actually.
Too many Red Bulls, Adam.
I'll think of it.
I have a question for both of you. Yeah. Why did you choose our team when you decided to pick us up?
Oh, yeah. So, actually, it was funny. I almost felt... it was... My immediate attention got to you guys because of the Era Eternity situation. I know you weren't part of them. But seeing what happened to you guys during Era, I was like, oh, man. You know what I mean? That sucks. From a personal level to a business level, all down the line, it's terrible. And we were looking for entry points. And honestly, to be honest, you guys were definitely not the only one. But I remember I had gotten in a call with Bosco and Crazy at the time. And Bosco, something I look for, and when I do scout, is somebody that seems like they have a vision for where they want to be. A lot of players, you talk to them, it's like, yeah, I just want to get paid. Like, yeah, this is my price. What else do you want? Like, this is it. We also came offering a lot. We came with a vision laid out for the team. Like, hey, when I came to you, I was like, this is what we're going to offer. We want you guys to also move here. This is why. And the reception from you guys was super appealing. You guys were super let's do it. I think seeing you guys super motivated, seeing the vision well crafted was awesome. And then for me, it's once I sense that passion from the players, I'm all in.
That's literally what I was just about to say. I remember when he called, well, I can't even say called because now we've been living together for a couple months, but he came and he was like, I found the team. He was like, because all I noticed when Jillian, when he wants something, he gets that sense of passion from whoever he's talking to. And once he feels that in his gut, he's just like, yeah, these are the people. Because like I said, we even do it the same with content creators. Content creators are the same way. Some just want to get paid. Some just want this. And some really want to get in there and grow the brand and have all these ideas. And you can just sense that they have like a huge passion with like YouTube. It's like the same thing with like esports and stuff like that. He definitely sensed that you guys were more than just a Rainbow Six team. You guys were people that just want to just be better than what people expect and stuff like that. And like when he told me that, and I was like, and I know what type of like passion he's talking about and like what type of sense he's getting. I'm like, yeah, I already know. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah, we go through that process
Yeah.
like all across the board. Like creators, me and Jonathan take almost every future creator meeting together. It's because we'll literally walk into the room after the call and say, we'll know yes or no. There's never been a time where I've said yes and Jonathan said no.
Yeah, no,
Never.
Yeah, never.
Yeah, it's like just a process we go through mentally. And like I said, I also got the feeling like when we brought you guys on, it wasn't just for you guys to be a competitive team. Like we have this house, you guys have your apartments. It's supposed to be something bigger than that. So I felt like it was really good.
That's actually a good question. Not to like skip you last, but like, how does it feel? Because I know this is the first time you guys ever had like a team with like a team house, and it's like a huge content-based team as well as esports. Like, what's that vibe feeling like for you guys, being a part of this?
You want to take it?
No, I was just gonna say like first, I don't actually expect all this to be delivered. I mean, I was like, I was like half. They might deliver it, they might not, but it feels amazing, actually having all this.
I think it's like a good mix between like content and esports and everything. Like, Obey has like a lot of great content creators, and they have a lot of other great teams besides us. And, just like, everybody can come to one place here and, we can, meet new people and everything. And, like personally, I haven't met like any of the content creators, but, just like they make great stuff, so, like we're all like here under one brand, just like growing, and sharing our passion, so it's pretty awesome.
It feels great going from telling like everybody at my high school, oh, I'm going to Texas the second that I graduate, to getting cut, then going back, and then actually ending up doing it. It felt really good to come down here, and it blew my expectations away.
Yeah, I actually I don't really tell people that. Like I never told anybody I was in the pro. Like people, I'll just see people on Twitter like that I went to high school with. Oh, they just followed me on Twitter and everything. Like I don't tell them anything, bro. And I just like get text messages like, oh, I just saw your Inside Edition thing. Like I didn't tell them that.
I feel you on that. Me and Jillian, we've talked about that before. Like I'll be randomly on Twitter or something, or Instagram, and like people from high school that I swore I haven't talked to in like 3-4 years, they just like randomly find you. That's how like you're kind of like, wow, you're really getting out there more and stuff like that. And I think it's pretty cool, to be honest.
Well, I mean, like, I don't know. I'm only 21, so 3 years ago, esports was like it was there, but it wasn't like people weren't as like culturally acceptive of the concept of esports. Now it's like, oh, you're in esports? Wow. You know what I mean? Like, this guy's great, and I feel like whereas 3 years ago it was completely different. Like I would say any sorts, but cool, what do you do? Oh, you play video games, or you own an organization. Okay, what is that? But now it's like, oh, you own an organization. Oh my God, they know everything about it. And I feel like society has mostly accepted it because it's like you throw a bunch of dollar signs in front of something and everybody's like, wow, that's cool, you make money off of it. But yeah, it's interesting to see the transition. I think that's about it for it. So thank you guys for watching another episode. Let us know who you guys want to see on here next. We can definitely have a lot of people. I know the next podcast is going to be super special, but after that, we'll step into what you guys really are looking for. So thanks for watching. See ya.
Hey, that's it. It's a wrap.